asking since this came up last year, but is Greenland going to become a part of the United States? Will Donald Trump take Greenland? We're beyond that. The question now isn't if, it's when and how, all right? So this was the president at the White House meeting the other day. This is where the oil executives came, and they talked about how they're going to rebuild the oil industry in Venezuela, and the president started taking questions. Hear them, they're freaking out. Hear the press? Okay, whoa, that means take Greenland. Hear the press are freaking out. Well, Greenland, well, we've always all known about Greenland. How many of you have ever thought about Greenland before last year when President Trump first started talking about it? And I hadn't thought too much about Greenland ever in my life. We know it's there, but I hadn't thought about it too much. And President Trump, and I learned something about Greenland that I'm going to share with you in just a moment that shows that President Trump has a legal right to take Greenland from Denmark. But he's absolutely right that Russia and China, they're pretty much on the verge of taking it already. They're operating in Greenland waters. They're all over the place. China uses money to buy their way in all over the place. China has a foothold in many places throughout the Caribbean, and strategically, it is important for our defense, both the United States and Europe and the world, right? But President Trump has a legal right to take Greenland, and I'm going to tell you why I say that. And this is something again, Greenland has never been on my mind or anyone else's mind until Trump's non-consecutive and incredible second term began. Greenland, and maybe everybody will say they knew this, but I never occurred to me. Greenland is part of North America. Did you realize that? Greenland is officially a part of North America. Go and look at it. That's right. So what does that mean? That means President Trump has a legal right to take it. See, since Greenland is officially a part of North America, it's part of the Western Hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine clearly states, which has been U.S. law for 200 plus years, that the Monroe Doctrine says that no foreigners shall be allowed to colonize in the New World, in the Americas, in the Western Hemisphere. That's right. That's the justification President Trump used to liberate Venezuela. So, since Greenland is part of North America, the Monroe Doctrine is clear. Denmark has no right under U.S. law, which is all we care about, right? Because we're Americans. Under U.S. law, Denmark cannot colonize any part of the Western Hemisphere, North America, South America, or the Caribbean, and they have a colony. It's called Greenland, the largest island in the world, is part of North America. So just based on that, President Trump has the legal right to take Greenland away from Denmark. So here's the president again at the White House. I love, yeah, that's exactly right. And I love how the media just go through these insane meltdowns. Now, this is the same event. This is the press conference with all the oil leaders, and President Trump was asked about Greenland and why it's so important. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and he's right about that. And also, China and Russia, who are operating in and around Greenland already, no matter how many military bases we have, they're going to continue to do all that. But once Greenland becomes U.S. soil, they're not going to go anywhere near it because it's U.S. soil. Russia and China would not dare set foot on U.S. soil with their military. Now, here was the vice president, J.D. Vance, who is expected to be our second MAGA president, with Jesse Waters on Fox talking about Greenland. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, there you have it. Boom. So there you have the second MAGA president, J.D. Vance, explaining that we need it. And, of course, we are going to take it. That's right. And then, of course, the great Nick Shirley, he went to Greenland when Don Jr. went there last year on Trump Force One. And this is Nick Shirley interviewing some native Greenlanders. And you got to remember, the native people of Greenland are Inuit Indians, right? The same as our Inuits in Alaska. The Native Americans formerly known as Eskimos. This is Nick Shirley with some natives of Greenland talking about joining the U.S. and talking about Denmark. Wow, buy Greenland, no more Danish. We don't like Danish people. Yeah, probably because they've been ripping the country off. They've been ripping Greenland off. They've been stealing the resources, taking them back to Europe and living off of them. And the people of Greenland haven't been getting much of anything, if anything at all. So there you have it. And it's been taken to another level. And there's a lot of reporting going on that President Trump has ordered Pete Hegseth, ordered the military, ordered General Kane to draw up a plan to actually invade Greenland. We don't have confirmation from President Trump on that, but the military is always making plans, and I'd be shocked if they didn't have a Greenland invasion plan either already on the books or creating an updated version of some old Greenland plans from long ago, or creating entirely new plans with all the modern technology and military we have. What President Trump is doing, and I'm pretty excited about it. I hope Greenland does become a territory of the United States, like Guam, like Puerto Rico, and the great people of Greenland become citizens of America. There's only about 50,000 people in Greenland, and they're all going to be rich if they become citizens of the United States. But what President Trump is doing is securing the world. The world has been very unsecured in the past 30 years or so, mainly since the Clinton era. China has gotten involved all over the world. Russia has made territorial gains and, against Ukraine, taking Crimea. Ukraine's on the verge of collapse today because of Russian aggression, and no one has been holding any of these people accountable, like the cartels and the border invasion, all this stuff that's been going on. And what President Trump is doing through everything he's doing, the tariffs, liberating Venezuela, annexing Greenland and making it a part of the United States, and other things that he's doing, is about stabilizing the world under free leadership, which is what we are, right? President of the United States, when I was growing up, said was the leader of the free world. So all of these things are leading to the decisions already been made. And not only has the decision already been made by President Trump, he is going to make Greenland a part of the United States. I would say that he's also made the decision and talked about it with the leaders of Denmark, and they've come to some type of agreement already that they're working out the details of. It's quite possible, and that the president is allowing Greenland to save face a little bit and act as if they're tough and a sovereign country and all of this stuff, when they're really just a tiny little country that doesn't do too much of anything. All right, now I'm going to move on to some other things, but you're welcome to call. If you're watching live on YouTube, the toll-free number to call in is pinned in the live chat. It's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're tuned into. If you're new, this is the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and the Brian Craig Show podcast is available wherever you get podcasts. Whatever podcast platform you listen to your podcast on, just search for the Brian Craig Show, and I'll pop right up. If you want to catch the show live in video form, right, not just live, but in video form when I'm taking the live calls, that's on YouTube. And if you go to YouTube and search for The Brian Craig Show, I'll pop up right there. So make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you're tuned into right now. But yeah, Greenland, and it is necessary. China has to be put in their place. President Trump taking Venezuela has taken so much oil away from China. Remember, China has no oil. That's why they're always pushing for electric this and electric that, because they don't have oil. Windmills and all this business, solar panels, garbage that don't work. And liberating Venezuela, cutting off that pretty much almost free oil that they were getting, is going to have a devastating impact on their economy. He did it in part to bring China to its knees, and kicking them out of the seas around Greenland where they've been operating and will be making moves is also going to make the world a lot more secure. So my opinion is that Trump's already decided. He's going to take it. Just a matter of how he does it. He's going to just go there and declare the Monroe Doctrine, and you're Europe and you can't have a colony in North America. Is he going to buy it, make a deal with Denmark? Well, maybe they'll get some profit sharing still. Who knows? But President Trump wants to do it. It'll be the largest land acquisition in the history of the United States, greater than even the Louisiana Purchase, which really blew my mind. Greenland's much larger than any of us had thought, because Greenland, it's amazing to me that with the liberals who oppose kicking Denmark out of Greenland, the liberals will tell you they don't like colonists. Oh, you guys in America, you're colonizers. Well, you got a European colony in Denmark. Why can Denmark have a colony in 2026, but the United States should surrender and give the country up? Either you're against colonizers or you're against them. Okay? Deal with it. Now, I saw this, if you're on hold, hang in there. I saw this trend on X today, and I clicked on the link. This is a liberal woman And this was after Trump's victory. She made an announcement. Let me share this with you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow, I know, pretty bizarre. You know, I got a question for you. We were talking a little bit in the last few podcasts. What is up with these liberal women, right? These Karen types. I don't know, but you know, these liberal women that are just causing all kinds of havoc in this country. They're the ones following ICE agents around and everything else. They also have another problem. For some reason, they feel like they've got to have these emotional breaks from reality recorded and posted up on social media. That's what I don't get. We all have good days, we all have bad days, but when you're having a bad day, do you make a video and post it up on social media? Why? Who's asking her to forgive MAGA, and why does MAGA need to be forgiven? I don't quite understand what she's talking about. Mm, okay. Wow. Wow. That's the left are on. You know, this is crazy because the Democrats, here we are midterm election season. That's the base of the Democrat Party, isn't it? Now, you know what it is. You know what time of year it is. It's tax time. No matter where you're located, Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax can not only help you with your taxes and take care of your taxes for you, he's going to make sure that you get the largest deductible the law allows. He knows the tax code inside and out. You know, the big beautiful bill is in effect now, and the entire tax code has changed because of the big beautiful bill. If you're a W-2 employee, if you're part of the gig economy, like a DoorDasher or Uber driver, a Lyft driver, and you have a 1099, call Jamie Levac. If you're retired living on Social Security, call Jamie Levac. If you're a business owner, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He does incredible work. I'm hearing great things from listeners that have already gone to him. If you have back taxes, go and talk to Jamie Levac about your taxes. He can help you no matter where you're located in the United States or the world. He's here in Florida, but he can help you throughout the United States, even in another country. If you're in a state that has a state income tax, call Jamie Levac. He can help you with your federal and state income tax. If you have local income tax, like in New York City, call Jamie Levac. He can help you with that too. He'll get you the maximum deduction. Oh, get this. Did you know that tax services and accounting are tax deductible themselves? That's correct. What a great deal. Here's his number. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac, 954 773 1587. Give him a call. If you get his voicemail, leave a message. He will call you back. 954 773 1587. 954 773 1587. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Brian Craig Show. The Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Follow and subscribe wherever you're listening. Okay, so this incident in Minneapolis, there's more and more footage that's coming out every day, almost all of it, except that one cell phone footage from the ICE officer himself is coming from the lunatic activist. So we have liberal sources for most all of it. But there's most of the officials of the left are being very, very irresponsible and are going to get more people hurt because they're causing a rebellion against federal agents. There's really only been one Democrat, and this is the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. That's right. Yeah, I mean, a responsible Democrat, the superintendent, which is that's what they call their chief of police in Chicago. If only other Democrats were doing that. And you know, that's when I was growing up. That's what you learned, right? That you do what a police officer tells you to do. You know, and you don't sit out there on the street and act like you're some criminal attorney, civil rights attorney, and try to argue your case. That's what the courts are for. And when you block in police officers, that is a threatening action, isn't it? Doesn't get more threatening than that. Not to me. Can you imagine what it's like for these officers? You know, they're being followed around all day. They're apprehending very dangerous people, these Trenda guys and everyone. This is incredibly dangerous police work that they're involved with. And then, you know, they get in front of you and block you in while you're being surrounded. It's pretty scary. And, you know, I was talking yesterday. I believe that what's happened here is that the Democrats are panicked over the Somali fraud operation being exposed. And they've unleashed their useful idiots and the radical liberal movement to go out and cause mayhem, thinking that's somehow going to stop the investigation. Nothing could be further from the truth. This Somali fraud is bigger than any of us can imagine. And liberals, they see things, you know, from some alternate universe. They don't see reality. This is CNN talking about the Somali fraud. Listen to this nonsense. Oh my goodness. I mean, the Somali families, they're the ones in the BMWs. They're the ones in the luxury cars. They're the ones taking the expensive vacation. Ilhan Omar's worth $30 million. She used to have a negative net worth. So how are the Somalis the victims? They're the benefactors. Oh my goodness. And when she says this, you know, and this CNN anchorette, as Rush Limbaugh used to call them, she's got this smile on her face like she thinks she's made some great point. Well, let's see how the panel reacts. She's saying that they're taxpayers. They're paying taxes on their embezzled money. That's called money laundering, right? Oh my goodness. I mean, this is bizarro world. You know, I get a headache listening to these liberals with their liberal logic, trying to explain things. Right? Don't you? And to her, not only did this CNN anchor lady have this smile on her face when she said it, this was not some spontaneous comment that she made. This is something she came up with before the show, and she said it because she thought it was such a brilliant point that she wanted to share on her program. Well, the reality of the situation is that the American people are pretty fed up, right? People work hard. I was talking how it's tax time. Here it is, it's tax time. And we see that these Somalis are ripping us off on our hard-earned money with the taxes. And the Americans people are pretty ticked off about this. In fact, if you see on social media, there's a whole trend now going on. It's like the ice bucket challenge from years ago of people saying, "Oh man, I'm so tired of working so hard. I'm going to go to Minneapolis and open up a daycare so I can retire." Right? I mean, this is like it's become a meme and a joke, a punchline. And for something to become a meme or a joke, there has to be some truth to it, and there's a lot of truth to it. So no, the Somalis are not the victims, and they can try to sell that all day long over on CNN. No one's going to buy that load of garbage. Okay, now I wanted to share that this is, I know lots happened in the last 24 hours. This is the Border Patrol chief, and these stalkers of ICE agents and Border Patrol agents throughout our country, they're even they're even stalking the chief of the entire Border Patrol. And I mean, this is crazy. This is like stalking the director of the FBI or something. Hear the horn. This is their thing. They honk the horns to try to disrupt what they're doing. And, this thing about the horn honking is to alert the illegals that you're about to be picked up. And years ago in Florida, something became illegal. And I don't know if this is legal or illegal in other states, but have you ever been driving? This is illegal in Florida. Have you ever been driving down the road? You're going down the turnpike. You're going down I-95, some highway. Or even, it could be a regular road, a side street. And a driver on the other side of the road, when they come up towards you, will blink their headlights. You guys know what that means when they blink their headlights during the day? What's that mean? It means Johnny Law's up ahead. There's a speed trap. There's a cop with a radar gun coming up. Slow down. You're alerting them about the police staked out. Well, years ago, they passed a law here in Florida outlawing that. If you alert people by, using your lights like that, you're committing a crime. Yeah. And alerting fugitives from justice that they're about to be apprehended, you're helping them escape. And these are federal charges. You're committing a federal felony when you're going around honking your horn, letting illegals know that they're about to be arrested by federal agents of the Border Patrol. This is the head of the Border Patrol they're following. See what they got to deal with? I was going to start filming them and taking pictures of them. And he's doing... Psychopaths. Backups just arrived. See, he's taking their photographs so they can do facial recognition. They're putting together, they're taking all their photographs all over the place. They're just not usually so obvious about it. And the reason they're doing that is they're investigating who these people are and tracking down how this organization is working. They're in front of a Target. This is a Target employee. Okay, now the guy, he just touched the Border Patrol guy, federal agent, so the federal agent's taking him down. That's right. Boy, oh boy. That's what these guys are dealing with, isn't it? And his immigration status, it'll be checked out. And you know what? Not just his, the immigration status of his family. The way that we are, seeing these people behave, there's a lot of accents with these people. They may be dreamers. They may have been here most of their life, okay, or almost all of it, but they still are undocumented, a lot of them. And a lot of them, what they're doing is they're leading Border Patrol back to where they live when they identify them, and their parents and grandparents are illegals and are at their house, and they're going to be deported. I mean, I don't understand why anyone on the... I understand why the illegals don't like it, okay? And people that are wanted often try to escape. Okay, that's part of... Law enforcement's dealt with that. But you see how they brainwashed a generation of young people into thinking that it is okay to go out and obstruct justice. And you know what? It's not okay to go out and obstruct justice. One of the most bizarre elected officials I've seen is the sheriff of Philadelphia. Sheriffs are elected people. Listen to this bizarreness. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you block law enforcement vehicles. Oh my goodness, they're starting to chant with her. Say her name. Say her name. That, you know, that comes from, that's the Breonna Taylor incident. They were, say her name, Breonna Taylor. They're updating it. Okay, so she's ordering her deputies in Philadelphia to arrest federal agents with masks on. You know, wasn't it just a couple years ago they were arresting people for not wearing masks? Now they're going to arrest people for wearing masks. You know, the ICE agents, Border Patrol, federal agents wearing masks, it's because they're doxing them. It's the, you know, and they want to find out not just who they are, but who their families are. That's why. For their own safety, they have to wear masks and no name tags. Hmm. Yeah, of course she was fleeing. No, her wife got in the car and said, "Drive, baby, drive." when they after they said get the F out of the car. So no, they were attempting a getaway. Wow. Oh, she's the real cop, right? She's the real cop. How far do you think she could chase a suspect who was fleeing on foot? Mm. Donald Trump. So is she saying that people can go to Philadelphia and block her police cars that are out on patrol? And when her officers tell people to exit the vehicle, that they can drive off? Is she saying that that's okay in Philadelphia, the sheriff there? Oh my goodness! I mean, here you have a sheriff who, without question, is working very hard to incite violence. You know, if people blocked her officers' cruisers, and when so if you get pulled over by a cop for speeding or traffic infraction in Philadelphia, you have a right to flee, according to her, and they're not going to come after you. They've moved into a whole new area. Now, if you're in the state of Florida and you need roof replacement or repair, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need, meaning that if you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. That's right. He works with every type of roofing material, and he can handle the job of any size on any structure. Office buildings, municipal buildings, single-family homes. He can handle the job of any size. So if it's one single-family home, one office building, one condo apartment building, or an HOA with over 450 units, he can handle that as well. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, he can help you. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Give Tom Laporta a call or text. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. All right. We're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. We're back. Thanks so much for joining. Make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you are. If you're on hold, hang in there. I've got a lot to cover. And I'm going to church with my daughter today, which I'm excited about. We're going to Mass at a church I've never been to, that she's been going to, that she's taken me to. So after the show, I got to get cleaned up and put some church clothes on, and going to go to Mass today with my daughter, which is always a good thing to do on Sundays, right? A lot of the problems we have from the left today are caused by teachers. Years ago, liberals, we had these FDR Democrats, older people, they lived through the Depression or that greatest generation, and they were Democrats because they believed that Roosevelt got us through the Great Depression. By turning a blind eye and allowing Pearl Harbor to happen, he got us out of the Great Depression. There's better ways to do it than that, but that's what FDR did. But they were FDR Democrats. And now what's happened is, we've always had left-wing college professors brainwashing young people. That's been going on in college. But, they're not fully developed yet, but they're 18 or above typically. But what happened during the Obama era is they started doing the indoctrination that kids would get in college in regular public school, from pre-kindergarten all the way through high school, and then it continues in college. And that's one of the reasons we don't have the FDR Democrats. I don't know if there's any left alive. If they are, they're 100 plus years old. But you have these younger people that are Democrats, the millennials, the Gen Zs, and they were taught an alternate American history than you and I were taught growing up. We were taught the real history. They were taught this Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou, 1619 Project history. And they don't understand this country. They don't know our history. And they don't understand how the government works. This is MS Now, Ari Veshi, whatever his name is. He has the MSNBC, MS Now historian on. And this historian, they're going through the ICE video of the Minneapolis event. Listen to this, and hear how the historian comes in. This is the resident official historian of MS Now. Yes. Yeah, look at her face. She's nuts. All the evidence. They didn't even play. Notice that they didn't play the whole video, all right, where she says, when her wife gets into the car and says, drive, baby, drive. Before we hear her response, I'm going to play the whole video again because they cut it out. Okay? Because if they played the whole thing, it wouldn't fit their narrative. Did she say former veteran? I haven't been able to quite make out what she said. Wow. Okay. So, you hear him get hit, then you hear the gunshots. But before that, you saw the wife get into the car and say, drive, baby, drive. And they cut the video off before you get to any of that. So let me rewind it, and then we'll hear from their historian. Oh my goodness. Oh no, that's classic insane behavior. Oh my goodness. Yeah, what about the part Drive Baby Drive where they hit the officer with the SUV that he's in front of? Is that part of the American way? Is that a de-escalation in this historic? No, and then remember, they didn't show any of that part of the video. I thought that, see, that, now this is another thing that's totally insane. No, the ICE officer is who is in control of the situation, or the cop in a traffic stop, not the person behind the wheel of the car. Oh my goodness. Again, saying that the person behind the wheel, not law enforcement, are in control of the situation. Misogyny. Oh my goodness. His boss is a woman. Her name's Christy Nome. Jeez. See, that's what happens when your kids go to college. That's got to be. She's got to be a college professor. That woman. She talks just like a college professor. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Norm from upstate New York.
Yeah. What's up, Norm?
How you doing?
All right.
This is going to sound a little bit controversial, but I think it's time that we revoke the 19th Amendment for like 10 years. That would take care of all these problems, and then we can come back to it. But I mean, at this point, I think that's the best way to solve these problems.
Is that the one that gives women the vote?
That's correct.
Oh, so you don't want like Christy Nome to be able to vote, or your mom, or your wife, or your daughters, or Melania, or Ivanka Trump, or Kai Trump. You don't want any of them to vote. Come on, you're just being funny.
I think we should put it on pause for I think we should put it on pause for 10 years.
Well, if we were going to make a change, maybe we should change it where only taxpayers voted. Elon Musk had talked about that. You have to pay taxes to vote. How about that one?
That would work as well.
That'd be the best one.
Yep,
Yeah, I'd like that one.
absolutely.
All right, upstate New York, that's an idea. I could go with that only taxpayers vote. You guys go for that one? Oh, man, now you have to be paying taxes. You have to be paying taxes on legal funds. So that does not count for the Somali pirates and me. Oh, by the way, did you see that Scott Bessent, our openly gay Secretary of the Treasury, said over the weekend that if you're receiving government benefits and you wire money overseas, that you're going to lose your benefits? That they now have a way to track those transactions. And yeah, you're gonna. So and there's been a lot of reporting, the Somalians in particular, because that's been going on now. You know, that's where the focus has been. That they've been wiring all this money overseas. And what percentage did they say of the Somalians are on welfare? 70% or more. So if you're on government assistance and you wire money overseas, you're going to get your government benefits cut off automatically. They have the system set up to do. Everything is so computerized now. They can't hide anything, can they? No, they can't. Now, if you'd like to support my content, whether it's my YouTube channel, my podcast, everything I do, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description of the episode to my Patreon page. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all my podcast episodes, access to Patreon-only live streams that I stream only on the Patreon platform. It's a troll-free zone, no liberals allowed. You get access to exclusive things that my wife and I both post up to Patreon that nobody else has access to. If you become a top Patreon supporter, you get your name up on the screen on YouTube and a live on-air thank you shout-out. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Doris. Those are my top Patreon supporters. Again, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on, or you can go to patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show, patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show, and it's self-explanatory how to become a Patreon supporter, and you'll be supporting all my content, and it's greatly appreciated. It helps quite a bit. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, please like the video and share the link on all your social media. My name is Brian Craig. This is where